Hello everyone, in this video we're going to review placing beam. Now placing beam it's the easiest thing that we have it. Let's just copy those two columns and take them to the since that the same column, I assume that this copying I used it, I assume all of them are the same height, the same properties. I just simply copy them there. Now to add beam in the structural, click on the beam, then as usual remember the properties. You're going to choose the type of the beam that you have it. If you don't have it, you can load the family and add it there. Let's say this is what I want here. You can select this one. Now placing beam depends on the level that you are. Remember, in first story, so it's going to add it to the first story I have it, and even through here I can see this is the first story. Now then the material property, the things that can be seen here can be seen from here. If the material property is not the same that you wanted, you can change it through here. Then placing beams, there's two ways. Whether manually you can add them. If you add manually, you can click on the chain. If chain is not active, or you can just simply go around and finish it when you come back to the first point. So this is chain. It's useful for this one. If you know that on all the grid lines you have, you can just simply click on grids. You can select all the grids. Automatically Revit is going to add, then select this one. So I'm going to select all of them. No, this is something not appearing here. Press finish. It will add the beams to the grid line. Now this is basically choosing the grid line. Let's see why this is not appearing there. I have no idea why it's not appearing. Now I could add by myself or using that on grid to add them. Now something else we have here, movement of the beams can be done in two methods. In the modify toolbar I can use move command, or I can align here. Why I can use align here? Because I have column as a reference. Column is the reference, then I can move the beams according to the face of the column easily there. In order to use move, it's the same way. I can select the beam and hit enter. Then I can use this point. If you don't want to see those line as bold, you can just simply click on these thin lines. Then you can easily, so first, the easy way to do, you have to, if you press on the move and select, you have to follow by an enter, then you can move the command. So the easier was to do these things. First select the member, then when you click on the move, it directly will ask you for a point, and then you're going to move that point here. Now this might not be easy because you have to select the member. Then if you know how to use alignment, now alignment basically it's easier. You can click on the alignment, but alignment is, you have to be very careful. The first thing that you want to choose is the reference, that this is the face that I want to align something with it. Then I'm going to click on this face. This is going to be aligned to the reference. Remember, the reference is the first, because if you select this one first, then the column will be moved according to this one. So you realize that the column moved, and we don't want this one to be happen. So make sure that when you're using align, the first thing is the reference. So when you click on the align, the first thing is the reference, which you want something to be moved to this face. Then you're going to click on the other one. It's easier than move, but not always working. It needs a face. To work with. You can just simply click face, and you click on the second one. It's going to be moved, aligned. It's basically, the name of it is aligned to this face there. It's easier than move, but remember, move sometimes is useful for the purpose when align does not work. If you can align cannot find the surface, it will go in this manner. Now, one thing you must understand, when you're adding beam, when adding beam, since we used a story, for example, one of the plans, if I go to north, you must understand that the beam will be placed, or in another way, the level that you have it there, it's far from there, the level that you have it will be the top of the beam, the top of the beam. So you must understand that the depth here, if you have a slab, you must understand and calculate the difference between them. If you want this one to be the effective depth, so you have to understand that what you have to do while adding slab. So whether the slab will come on the top, when the slab come down, the beam will be shorter, those things you must double check while working. But when you're adding the beam, it's considered that this is the level and the beam will be placed downward there. If you wanna make it upward, you have to give an offset there. So clicking on this one is gonna bring the properties of that beam, the properties. For example, tell you the type of it. It's the offset is 0, 0 because it's straight. We have it here. It's for the first story. I have it there. If you give them offset, yes, it's gonna go up. For example, if this is 600, if I give 600 offset, is gonna go up according to the starting point and the end point. Those things can be managed through the properties there. If this is for the beam, we have it here. It was in the first story. Now we can add beam system. Let's talk about beam system here as well. Same thing, which is a joist girder system. We have it in beam system. We can click on this one, and then for the beam system, automatic beam selection can work. If you have it, you can just simply click here, it will add it to you like this. Or if you come to the other one, it's gonna add beams, smaller beams to that direction. Now the beams here, the beam type can be seen from here. Now if I don't have something within the family, you cannot select them here. Look, for example, I don't have smaller than this one. So if you want, you can escape, add them, or you can add, later edit them. Because normally the joist, the beam system, we use them, will be smaller than the perimeter with the girder done. So those, the small one will be joist, will be normally smaller than the girders. Now, something that you have it here, the numbers, is it fixed distance you have it between them? Or you have numbers, fixed number that you have it. For example, I have 6 of them, so if you just, it will be, if you look at the board, you'll be able to see 6 joists will be added. As we're adding 6 of them, so one click here is going to add, but the type of the beam are 300 by 600. So if I press escape, now here I can just simply tag them. It's going to give me the tags there. If I don't want them, I can later tag them by myself. If you're tagging, if I don't want them, if you're tagging, if I don't want, can be added later. Now, in order to change this one, you have to, now if you click on the edge when it's selected, so that all of them will be selected, you'll be able to see this is what we have here, yes? Now, how do I change this one here? How can I add something here? Now, in order to add this, I have to first, in a normal beam, I'm not adding anything, I'm not drawing anything, but you have to have something within the list. Within the list, I have to have something, then I can select from the list. So I can edit type, duplicate. Let's say I'm using something small, 100. Yes, so that's going to be 400 for them. Then I'm going to change them according to this 100 by 400. Then this will be added to the family of the beam. Now I add this one to the family of the beam. So if I open the, sorry, it escaped. So if I click on this one, on the edge, when I see the dash line, then I can select the beam that I have it to make them smaller. Remember, if you don't have it from there, you can add it, then you'll be able to. So sometime before going for this beam, you can simply, this is small by the way, but let's say that this was what. So if you don't have them within the family, you cannot select them, but it's okay. Do the things, later you add that. You have versatility to change things in Revit and update the sections easily. This will be enough for the beams. Remember those information as well. Thanks for watching.